So you had some interesting comments about Japan, white supremacy, and how anime ties into that.
Okay.
I thought that was really interesting.
Okay.
The way you explained it was that Japanese anime looks like white people as opposed to Japanese people.
I
Explain
mean,
that.
it's a little bit more nuanced than that. I grew up watching old school anime like Fist of North Star and When
Yeah,
Ninja
me too.
Chronicles and all those old school anime joints. Shout out to Supernatural. I used to go over his house and watch all them joints. But I noticed back then, there's certain things I noticed back then that a majority of the characters had Eurocentric features. There was a lot of whitewashing in terms of the blue eyes and blonde hair, and the heroes looked more European, and some of the villains looked Asiatic, African, or Asian. That's just something I noticed. I also noticed there was a lot of destruction, Godzilla level, like atomic bomb level destruction. So it's just something I noticed about anime is that it was hyper focused on the destruction of civilization, the destruction of cities, which I think it was a fallout of our bombing of them. And two, it was focused on uplifting a Eurocentric value of beauty, which is not unique to anime. It's not like anime does this. When you walk down the street, you see a black woman with her hair straightened. That's not how her hair looks when she's born. She does that to conform to a Eurocentric metric of standard of beauty. Every culture does this. Every culture on the planet does this because white supremacy is global. You have people who lighten their skin in third world countries. Who you have people who go through great lengths to appear more white. This is not by coincidence. It's not because
I mean, not just third world countries. I mean, it happens in the U.S.
it happens every nook and cranny.
Look at Sammy Sosa.
Yeah, it happens every nook and cranny on this planet. You have people going out their way, and then in Japan in particular, lightening creams and widening your eyes. Like there's some real shit going on. This is a cultural. It's not. So it's not. When I speak on that, I'm just speaking on facts of just how the world works. It's not a judgment of anime. It's not a judgment of Japanese culture. American culture is no better. Look at American cartoons. It's no better. Look at the black people who were in American cartoons. So I mentioned it in a conversation about something else on Twitter. And what I didn't know, but I know now, I had noticed that a lot of white supremacists have anime as their avatars. This is something that I hadn't noticed already.
I've never noticed that before.
Okay, well, the anime avatar ranking is, the white supremacist avatar is like Boston sports teams, a dog, some sort of gun, the Pepe the Frog, a picture of Donald Trump, dog again, because there's a lot of dog avies, some sort of American flag, some sort of German Nazi symbol, or anime, particularly like waifu anime, like blonde, blue-eyed, like dainty. So I mentioned this, white, Eurocentric influence in anime, and what I didn't realize how strong the white supremacist community was in the anime community, and I got dogpiled on immediately. Like I must have made some blog or some Reddit or something, and they just started coming at me, very upset about. And then when I was looking at their profiles, these are like men's rights activists, which men's rights isn't a fucking thing. If you're a men's rights activist, you're a fucking loser. I just had to say that. But these are people who are like Trump supporters, and they post this Pepe the Frog shit all the time, and they make fun of black people, and they hate Black Lives Matter. Like, this is the same community of people. And they also, a lot of them, like anime. And I think it's because a lot of the white supremacist culture, when you talk to white supremacists online, they're really on some Nazi shit. So they'll start talking genetics, and they'll start talking eugenics, and they'll start talking IQ. They're quick to be like, Kweli, you're retarded. You must have a low IQ. Because intelligence testing is based on like European ideals of what type of Western knowledge you should have. You know what I'm saying? So intelligence testing can be biased in a lot of ways. The bell curve that was debunked was something that was written by a black guy, a coon, you know what I'm saying, to say that black people just by nature are just not as intelligent as white people and never will be. These white supremacists, they believe this stuff. And so they show up and they'll tell you their argument will be, well, Here's proof I'm not racist. Asian people are way smarter than white people. Asian people do so well. So what they'll do is they'll stereotype Asian people, and there's no such thing as a positive stereotype. If you're grouping a group of people, even if you say all Asian people are good at math, that's you being a bigot. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's you being a fucking racist. So
right, and I've actually looked into this. The reason why Asian people are so good at math, I mean, number one, the parents push very hard for that, but also the way the language is structured in terms of mathematics, it's easier for them to,
here's
put
the
math
thing.
together based on the way their language is.
But see, that's not scientific or empirical. There are plenty of Asian people who suck at math. The idea that Asian people were good at math is not based on this global scale of weighing in and what is Asian people? Like, which group of Asian people are you talking about? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, that's a really whitewashed way of looking at it. And they use it to dismiss the struggles of black people. They say, well, what's wrong with y'all? Asian people are so good. But then they fetishize Asian women. These white supremacists fetishize Asian women. They got these waifu pillows, body pillows with pictures of Asian women. And like, that's what is animation. And they all are in the super like disgusting. Let me not be a judge. Cause look, there might be some shit I like that turns me on that you might think's disgusting. You know what I'm saying? But when it's like this childlike looking porn, that's just disgusting to me, bro. Like when your relationship is with like a pillow that's a cartoon of like a character that's supposed to be Asian, we got big blue eyes. Like, that's some weird fetish shit. That's some weird white supremacist fetish shit. And they took offense to me coming for their pillows. You know what I'm saying? Like, they clutched their pearls and how dare you say our cartoons are racist. And then what happened was they started calling me all types of niggers and I should get hung and this and that. And one person actually said, since you say cartoons are racist, I'm going to be racist to you. It's like, is that really all it took? You know what I'm saying?
Well, you've actually, when you look at the other side of things, you've actually said that Rachel Dolezal, who went from white to trying to be black, you know, to the point of actually fooling everybody.
Mm-hmm. She didn't fool everybody. She just fooled people out in Oregon or whatever the fuck she was. She wouldn't have got away with that shit in Brooklyn. Trust me. Nah, she wouldn't have got away with that. Somebody would have asked for them receipts a long time ago. Trust me.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But yeah, continue on.
You actually said that she's not an ally to black people. She's an enemy.
No, she's definitely not an ally. Yeah.
Even though she was part of the NAACP and...
Well, no, because here's the problem with Rachel Dolezal. When you got to look at the history. She was in Howard and she sued the school. Maybe it's not Howard, it's some black university, you might want to look it up. I think it was Howard. She sued the school and said they were discriminated against her because she was white. So here's somebody who, as a young white woman, had enough
Howard University, you're right.
Yeah. As a young white woman, she was blessed and privileged enough to attend a historically black university. Now, here's the great thing about historically black university. Racists will say, well, that's racist to have an all-black college. One, the only reason all-black college was started is because white people wouldn't let black people go to school. So that's why historically black university even exists. Two, historically black universities let anyone in. You can be white. You just know it's historically black. You can be a white person. It doesn't exclude anyone. She went there, took advantage of this, and sued the school and lost. And you could Google this, make sure I'm right, fact check me. Not only did she lose, but I think she had to pay for the lawyers, she had to pay legal fees because she lost. So she lost spectacularly. So to me, that's a hustler. That's a hustler and a charlatan. That hustle didn't work. Her next hustle was, okay, they gonna treat me unfair because I'm white, then I'm just gonna be black. And that's what she did. By her propping herself up as a black leader, what she did was she took away a space that belonged to or could have gone to an actual black person. She used her white privilege and denied a person of color a leadership position. So any job she got, any love she got, any accolades she got, that should have gone to a person of color if you're pretending to be a person of color. That means you were not an ally. That means that anything that you claim to have done, you didn't really do. It's like, when you look at sports, it's like when they put an asterisk next to somebody or they find out somebody did steroids, it's like, bro, you ain't really do that.